Thank you for coming over. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. And yourself?
Pretty well. Was always think about it that the Nobilex, which is in the notary business, right, and one of the leading service provider in the Netherlands and the nearby region, right? You use a lot of technologies. Like your focus is always drive things to technology. If you can brief, how did you come up with this idea that you can have use of technology in this business?
Yeah, so I mean, Nobilex is initiated from the Notary Association in the Netherlands because basically what they see is that there's a lot of pressure on the notary profession to innovate. There's rising customer demands, like we no longer accept that we have to send stuff over by paper, then wait for it to be processed. And so we need to have access to the notary in a digital manner, as accessible as everything with an app on your phone. And they also saw that the market wasn't innovating enough. So they started Nobilex to basically pull the notaries into this digital time that we are living in.
So you probably have to think about digitization day in, day out on that.
Absolutely, yeah. We need to, like, our biggest challenge is how do we get the market to adopt what we're building.
Yeah, it's because if I think about notary, right, it's people just think about the paper and pen and everything digitized, right? It's little tough to think about it. So you might have got a lot of challenges for people adopting it also, that everything can be done on using the technology.
Absolutely, like there's processes that get rather complex because they have to be in accordance to the law. The law can be complicated, so these processes in the notarial offices can be quite complex. Now, when employees are used to follow certain procedures, it's extra hard to get them to adopt a new way of doing things. And in the end, I believe that for digital transformation, it is necessary to also break existing processes.
True. One thing which always I keep on thinking about it is, see, you have one side hard to get the adoption from the people, right? At the same time, you have to keep using new tools and technology like IDP, right? You have to have IDP because there are tons of documents. You probably have to use maybe digital signature, etc. How do you see those things?
No, absolutely. So what we see is that there's laws coming also from Europe that force the adoption of digital signatures also for notarial deeds. Of course, it's already common practice in many contracts where the notary is not involved. And since last year, we also have the digital foundation of a limited company that can be signed in a digital manner. That's been the first step. And now from there, we're going to bring that also to real estate transactions, and we're going to bring that to other transactions. That obviously takes also that it's legal to do it. So we need a law change in order to enable this digital signing for all these different deeds. But then that's only the signing of the deed. Even when the deed is signed in the office of the notary by pen, there's still a lot that can be done in a digital way.
Yep, I think I was referring to one of the use case on that. When you do a digital sign, you need to see that when people are signing, the video has to be on, the location has to be secured, etc. And I know like Cygnet worked on a solution called Signature, which is our product on the digital signature and all, right? So you have to explore such solution also for yourself?
Absolutely. Like our customers also request us to integrate these kind of solutions because there's a lot of documents that need a signature. Think about a letter of engagement at the start of a file of the notary. This can be signed, and that's not a notarial document, so it doesn't have to be signed in the office. So for these kind of documents, digital signing is essential because we cannot ask a customer to come to the notary office 10 times just for buying a house.
Absolutely. And when you talk about these technologies, right, even how about the analytics? Because there are a lot of documents, a lot of repeat customers. So do you try to use data analytics or anything like that also in your software?
Absolutely. We have a team here within Cygnet that builds our management dashboards in Power BI. So they're utilizing data not only from Nobilex, but also from other sources like the bookkeeping system. This week we've been talking about adding even more market information, like public market information in there, so we can also benchmark the performance of a notarial office against the market.
Oh, good. So when you build this system for the Netherlands, right, how do you see the nearby countries or Eastern Europe, or you plan to go global?
So we are looking at internationalizing the software. Obviously, when it comes to legal tech, we run into a lot of things that need to be changed as well. Like there's obviously things like the Chamber of Commerce that are specific per country. So that needs to be rebuilt for every country. Yes. At the same time, what is a very interesting development is that we see in Eastern Europe that the notaries basically go straight away from using Microsoft Word to using ERP in a SaaS landscape.
Oh.
And they're skipping the steps that we've seen in the Netherlands, where there's first a server on-prem, then at some point the server moved to the data center, and we see that more and more customers are now moving to SaaS. But we see in other countries that sometimes they skip these steps of on-prem and data center and go straight to SaaS.
And in fact, on the same line, you are also coming up with the next Connect, which is on the SaaS-based software. If you can just brief me a little bit on that. What are your plans on that?
Yeah, so what we are trying to utilize most is the power of SaaS. And for me, that is productization. So we shouldn't build software where you need a consultant to configure it for you. We can let the customer configure it themselves. And that's what we've been working on for the last couple of years. How can we make this as simple as possible to use? How can we do the onboarding flow completely in the software? And how can we enable the user to do more themselves? And that the ultimate form of that is that you can just start Nobilex from our website.
Oh, that's great. And when you have been building a product for quite a few time, right? Quite a few years now. So over the period, you might have got some technical debt. So how do you balance between the feature and technical debt?
So we are using a lot of third-party tools. So obviously that comes with upgradations and patches and CVEs that we have to monitor. So what we did with the team is we set up a couple of tools to monitor where are we and how do we avoid technical debt. And then we have a strategy in development on how do we keep things up to date all the time. So we try to deliver in every sprint something innovative, something that makes life easier for the user, and something that reduces technical debt or that has some upgradations on the technical side.
So figured out the right balance between tech debt, features, and ease of use.
Exactly, because if you don't, the risk is there that you only focus on new features for the customer, and at some point you find yourself with software that may no longer be secure. So you have to keep the balance in all three.
So how do you say Cygnet is helping you out? Because Cygnet being your technology partner, how do you see they are helping you out?
So we have challenged Cygnet a lot at the start of our partnership to really take ownership also of this technical debt and of the upgradations. And what I've seen that the team has grown a lot, and this week here on site was really the proof that we're fully in control. We have roadmaps on what needs to be done at what point. We're together planning for our expansion. We got some really large customers on board, and we're planning for how do we scale up in terms of services, in terms of database. Are we going to clusterize the databases in a different way? And I see that the team is really in control of this. So that's, I think, the key in our partnership.
Thanks a lot for having trust in us in that case, Rob. One more thing, like in the Europe post-COVID, right? In last couple of years when we overcome the COVID era and all, right? How do you see technology evolving in Netherlands, in digitization? What are your thoughts?
So I see that processes are becoming much quicker and that we're currently moving to real digital transformation. So where we see that some systems have been just the digitization of processes that used to be on paper, we now see that we're actually breaking the traditional processes and we're moving not so much to a chain where everything happens in kind of a waterfall method, but we're moving to a network where different third parties work together on the same transaction. And I think that is revolutionizing the use of technology.
And same going to continue for next 2 to 4 years, or do you see any change in that?
It will have to. Like if we want to keep also the notary profession relevant, they will need to adopt this new speed, this new reality that technology brings.
So you see any use of AI technologies like AI chatbot or LLM chatbot or something? You think you will be using it in your software, or people have to adopt it?
We would absolutely use it. We are already using AI technology in our procedures as well. Most of our customers are using AI. We obviously also have to be very careful with OpenAI because
Yep.
we are in the legal business. So we cannot just share sensitive documents with personal information with OpenAI. So what we see now is that there's more and more private AI coming. And also there we see Cygnet as a very important technology partner because you have the experience,
Yep.
you have examples, you have good use cases, and we're utilizing that in our software. So definitely this is going to be one of the main focuses going forward.
Absolutely. I think we did quite a few POCs and we have a couple of implementation on the private AI, so that without sharing the data of the organization, we can use the best use of the AI for them. Great. Thanks a lot, Rob, for giving your time, and nice
No problem.
interacting with
Thank
you as
you.
always. Thanks.